Good afternoon, friends, and thanks for joining me today. And if you're new here, my name is Kim. I'm just getting started on this bacon, spinach, and onion quiche I'm going to make. I've just got a medium onion here, and I'm just going to use half of it. I'm going to get it sliced up, and I'm going to get it peeled. How is everybody today? I hope you're having a good day. We've got some beautiful weather outside. I'm just going to get this onion sliced up. I'm going to do it pretty thin. We want it in really small pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and dice it. And I just want to dice it so it's about 1/4 inch pieces. Just little bitty pieces. We don't want them real big for the quiche. This is just a pound of bacon. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half because we only need a 1/2 pound for this recipe. Get it out of this container. So I'm going to work on this quiche today. I'm going to get it in the oven, and then I'm going to head outside and hopefully get a little bit of gardening done while it's cooking. It's 80 degrees outside today, but it's nice and cloudy, so it's a great day to go out and work in the garden. It's not too hot. I'm just going to go ahead and slice this up, and I'm just going to do small. I'm going to do about 1/4 inch slices here. We don't want them real big because they are going to go in the quiche. So just little bite-sized pieces. Let me get my hands washed up real quick while I've got this skillet heating on the stove. Okay, let's get our bacon in, and we're just going to get this cooking, and we're going to let it start to brown up for us. I'm just going to get it broke up real nice, and we're just going to give it a couple minutes, let it start to brown, let it cook up a little bit. With these small pieces, it cooks up pretty fast, just 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so it's about half cooked now. I'm going to go ahead and add in the onions that I just diced. And these won't take long to cook either because they're nice small pieces. And I just want to cook these guys for about a minute, just until they just start to soften, maybe 1.5 minutes at most. Won't take long at all. This is a pretty quick recipe to throw together and then just toss in the oven. It doesn't take long at all to set the quiche up. Okay, so these are just about cooked now. We don't want the bacon real crispy because it's going in the quiche. So we just want it just cooked. Okay, I'm going to add a 1/2 tablespoon. This is just diced garlic. It's just the stuff you get in a jar from the store. It's probably equal to about a full clove of garlic if you're going to chop up some fresh garlic. We're just going to get that nice and stirred up. Just let that cook for just a couple of seconds. We don't want to brown it. Just want to add some good flavor. Now I have some frozen spinach I'm going to add. This is just frozen out of the freezer. I just defrosted it, and then after it was defrosted, I squeezed the liquid out of it, so it's just the spinach, so we don't want all that liquid in here. And it's already pre-cooked, so we're just going to throw this in and heat it up. This is actually spinach out of my garden that I harvested last week that I froze. And I still have a video that should be coming up on that soon. And that's it for our filling. Okay, so today, instead of using my oven, I have an all-in-one air fryer. It's like an air fryer, dehydrator, and oven combination, convection oven. And I've just covered the sheet with aluminum foil, just in case we have any drips. And this is just a store-bought deep dish pie shell. You can use any kind of pie shell you want. Homemade is fine. I'm just happen to have one of these in my freezer, so I'm going to go ahead and use it because it's quick and convenient. I'm just going to go ahead and ladle, well, not ladle, I'm going to put the filling into the pie shell. We're just going to put all this in there. It should just be about perfect. Now, if you don't have a deep dish pie pan, you probably have to use a little bit less egg mixture. A lot of times it's hard to find those at the grocery store, but this is just a deep dish one. So I'm just going to spread this all out into an even layer. Get it all nice into the corners because we want all that goodness in every bite. And here I just have about a cup of cheese. This is just some Colby Jack cheese. You can use any kind of cheese you want. It's good with Swiss. I've done that before. You can even do like a smoked cheddar or a sharp cheddar you can put in here. But I'm just going to put a thin layer over the top. There's about a cup here. You can put a little bit more, a little bit less if you want. We're just going to get this all over the top. Get it nice and spread out. Okay, now in my measuring cup I have 5 eggs. And I'm just going to add about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of onion powder. And then another half a teaspoon of garlic powder. I want to make sure this is where we get all of our seasoning in, is in the egg mixture. And then because I haven't put any salt in, I'm just going to go ahead and use about a half a teaspoon of garlic salt. Now, if you don't have garlic salt, just go ahead and just use regular salt. But it does need a little bit of salt. It's kind of bland with just the eggs if you don't put the salt in. So I'm just going to whisk this up really, really good. You want to mix it for a good minute. You want to get it nice and frothy, get it really mixed up. The more air you get into these eggs, the fluffier your quiche will be. If you don't mix them real well, then you'll have a more dense quiche. But we like the light and fluffy quiche, so we're just going to go ahead and get a lot of air mixed in. It only takes about 30 to 45 seconds, I would say. Just beat it real good until it froths up on you. Okay, now we're going to add some milk. Now, when I did this, I originally added it to the 2-cup mark. This is a 2-cup measuring cup. I added it so it came up to 2 cups. Now, it actually makes too much liquid, so just do it until it comes up to 1.5 cups. So that would be your eggs and your milk total. You just need 1.5 cups of liquid, because I did have a little bit left at the end, which is all right. You could just pour those in a pan and scramble them up, which is what I ended up doing. Okay, so we just mix this up real well. And we're just going to pour this over the top of the quiche. And I like to go around the outside edge just to make sure I get a good seal where the egg goes all the way to the outside edge that way. I usually go all the way around. And then I'll put the rest in the middle. Now you don't want to fill this too much because this is going to rise when you cook it, especially with the air we just got in those eggs. It will poof up a little bit, so you don't want to put too much. Just put it until it's just at the bottom lip of the pie shell. And you can see I have a little bit of egg left, so that's why I said just add it until you got about 1.5 cups of liquid. Okay, this is my 5-in-1 air fryer. I have set it to 350 and I let it preheat for about 10 minutes. It's got a preheating setting. And I'm going to set the timer for 45 minutes. And I'm going to head outside to my garden, and I'm going to work in my garden for a little bit. But I'm going to come in about 20 minutes, and I'm going to put a piece of aluminum foil over the top because it tends to brown. If you're just going to do it in a regular oven, you can just do it at 350. It takes the same amount of time. Okay, so it's been about 35 minutes. I got sidetracked. I was out in the garden. I lost track of time. It got a little brown on top. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of foil in just to tent it. And it's got just about 10 minutes left to cook. I had just checked it with a toothpick in the center, and it wasn't quite ready yet. You want that toothpick to come out clean. So it's only got about 10 minutes to cook. Okay, so I checked it in the center with the toothpick, and it's nice and done. And you can see it got a little brown on top, but that's my fault for being outside. Just make sure you tent it at about the 20-minute mark so you don't get that top brown crust. But this is a piece I cut for my husband for his dinner, and he said it tasted just fine. So I'm pleased with it. It tastes good. It's a little dark. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I thank everybody for following along today and watching. And if you like this recipe, please hit the like and the subscribe button if you're new. And we will see you with another recipe or garden video.